Oh, hi. How are you? Yes, I'm very well. Nice to see you. Sorry? You'd like to know a bit more about opera? Of course, I'd be glad to tell you. Come along with me. Okay, take a seat. Let me tell you something about myself first. Hello, I'm John. I'm a teacher and I trained as an opera singer. When you talk about opera and how great it is, what you have to understand is why singing's so important. Singing is part of who we are. If you think of how we use singing to celebrate. Think of singing Happy Birthday. We use singing to encourage. Think of singing at football matches. We use singing to tell stories. And it's always been like that. Ever since we were cave dwellers, we used singing to communicate. Roman theatre, Greek theatre, the earliest forms of theatre all included music in their storytelling. But it was the 1600s that saw the first opera. The first time somebody said, hey, let's use music and singing to tell the whole of a story. And it's been used ever since. But it's changed and it's moved with the times. The first operas used to have a conductor who sat at the front and sat at the piano and conducted, and he had a big stick, not a conductor's baton, and he used to bang the ground to keep the music in time. Yeah, you must follow the beat! And then it was all about the singers. Ariana Grande had nothing on the pop divas of the early opera time. Then Mozart came along. You might have heard of Mozart, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And he changed things so that the orchestra and the singers worked together a little bit more to paint a picture, to tell a story. And then came romantic music, the music of Puccini. And in Puccini's music, there's a great example of opera being used to express the enthusiasm of huge numbers of people. A great singer called Pavarotti sang an aria called Nessun Dorma from Turandot, and it was used as the theme for the Italian '90 World Cup. And then there's modern opera. The music often tries to describe something, describe a place or a person or an event, or it's based on a different kind of music. So it's based on rock music or on jazz. So that's the first reason why opera's great, because it is, and it always has been, part of what it is to be human. But there's more. There's storytelling. Words are great. Words give us stories, they give us poems, they give us plays, things that can help us to feel good. Things that can make you laugh or make you cry, make you forget how tough life can be for a while. Everybody likes being told a story. Music is brilliant because it can speak to us or say things that sometimes words are not able to do. Theatre, film and TV, they're all great too because they use things like costumes and lighting and sets to really absorb us into a story. But what's great about opera is that it combines all these things together. So, you've got a stage. Actually, I'm on a stage now because these are curtains behind me. You've got lights. That's better. You've got costume. And what about makeup? But now, back to what's important in opera. You've got a conductor. Hello, I'm the conductor. I make all the music happen on stage. And I think it's worth taking a moment, if we may, just to look at some of the other people who are involved in making an operatic production happen. Hello, I am a director. I work on the production to make sure that we tell the story as well as we possibly can. I wonder what the composer would have wanted. Hello, I'm a stage manager. I really make sure that everything happens on stage just as it should. Will you put that prop down? Honestly. I wonder... Hi, I'm the producer. I'm in overall charge of the whole production. I cast the opera, I book the conductor, I book the director, I organise all the money, and I'd just like to add this about opera. The world seems to be very good at finding reasons to divide people at the moment. But opera is something that always brings people together, like a big family. I wonder, is it lunchtime? Oh. And you get told a story in a way that gets all your senses. You see it, you hear it, and you feel it. There's so much happening, it's incredible it all works. In fact, a well-known writer called Terry Pratchett, who wrote the Discworld novels, he said that opera happens because a large number of things amazingly fail to go wrong. Now, I really hope I'm persuading you that it's worth giving opera a chance. But let me try and answer some questions that people frequently ask. Isn't it all just fat people with wobbly voices? No. That's just an idea that people get because they've seen opera singers wearing hats like this. Opera singers have always been just like everybody else. And what you call a wobble, well, it's just part of the way the voice works. Singers train for years to make it possible for their voices to fill huge theatres and halls. There's no amplification, you see. They don't use microphones or speakers like pop singers or musical theatre singers, which is not to say that one sort of singing is better or worse than the other. They're just different. That wobble, which is called vibrato, it's just the way the human voice works. Pop singers have it too. Look at Tom Jones, who's on The Voice, or the great singer from Queen, Freddie Mercury. Another question. Isn't it really expensive just for rich people? No. Nothing could be further from the truth. Opera belongs and always has belonged to everybody. And it is for everybody. And everybody deserves the chance to experience it. That's why opera companies today, like my friends at Opera Holland Park in London, really close to where you are probably, they make tickets really cheap, especially for young people who've never been to opera before. Another question people often ask, isn't it all in foreign languages and therefore impossible to understand? Well, sometimes, yes, it is in a foreign language, but often it's translated into English or the language of wherever it's being performed. But even in its original language, whether that's Italian, German, Russian or French, the music can often speak to you, so you know what's going on, even if you don't understand the words. Plus, you see the story on stage in front of you. There's a great film, one of my favourite films, called The Shawshank Redemption. It's all about people in prison in America, and they're treated really, really badly. One day, for reasons which are too complicated to go into, one of them manages to play some opera over the loudspeakers so that everybody in the prison hears it.
It was like some beautiful bird flapped into our drab little cage and made those walls dissolve away. And for the briefest of moments, every last man at Shawshank felt free.
Aren't all the stories really bad and old-fashioned? No. Again, that's not true. Opera tells stories about things that never get boring. Falling in love, relationships going wrong, fancying the wrong person, people taking revenge on others, people forced out of their own country, having to live in a foreign land. All things that are just as relevant today as they've always been, and as they always will be. Look, as I said, I really hope I'm persuading you that opera has something to offer you. But you need to know more about the great operas. To know them is to love them. You need to know the stories, you need to know some of the music if you're really going to give opera a chance. If you're interested, and I really hope you are, then come back next week and I'll tell you more about one of the greatest operas ever written. I'll tell you the story. I'll play you some of the music. And if you're really lucky, or maybe really unlucky, I might sing some of it to you as well. I hope to see you.